Recovery requires action, not just time. Contrary to the belief that time heals all wounds, the author emphasizes that active participation in the healing process is crucial. They introduce specific steps and exercises designed to help individuals confront and process their grief effectively. Fridays are for book club. And this book I want to share with you is the Grief Recovery book. At some point in time, you're going to need this information because in life, people are going to transition, including yourself one day. So I hope this information is helpful. It's not just grieving the loss of a loved one. It could be grieving the loss of a job, a relationship. There's so many different forms of grief. That's what I realized. That's why I got the book, because I was grieving some things and I needed to grieve them properly. So this book helps. I'm going to give you the takeaways. Grief is natural, not a mental illness. Grief is a normal and natural response to loss, encompassing a range of emotions such as sadness, anger, relief, and confusion. It's important to recognize that grieving is about a broken heart, not a broken mind. Therefore, intellectual solutions alone are insignificant. Emotional healing is essential. So these are common myths about grief that can hinder the healing. Common myths. So these are what I'm about to share are myths. Do not say this to someone who's grieving. Sometimes we don't know what to say. And if you don't know what to say, they don't say nothing at all. Don't feel bad. Replace the loss. Grieve alone. Just give it time. Be strong for others. Keep busy. These are things not to say to a person who's grieving. These misconceptions often lead individuals to suppress their emotions rather than process them, resulting in unresolved grief. So what I have witnessed is a lot of times people who are grieving get really busy. They go to work immediately. They just stay busy. They can't sit still. They haven't given themselves the time to process the grief, right? And when they don't process it, it is unresolved grief. How many of us have some unresolved grief? If you really think about it, sometimes the common response is to just be busy so you don't have to think about it, so you don't have to feel, right? It's not going to go away. So recovery requires action, not just time. Contrary to the belief that time heals all wounds, the author emphasizes that active participation in the healing process is crucial. They introduce specific steps and exercises designed to help individuals confront and process their grief effectively. Addressing unresolved emotions through completion letters. One of the practical tools presented is the completion letter, where individuals write to the person they've lost, expressing unspoken thoughts, feelings, and forgiveness. This exercise facilitates emotional closure and helps in releasing the lingering pain. So this is a letter to the person who has transitioned. Now, you can't give it to them, right? Because they no longer here, but it helps you release those unspoken thoughts and feelings and forgiveness. So I invite you, if you are grieving, if you're holding on to some things and you wish you could have said to that person, you can write a letter, right? It gets it out of you. It helps you release that. It's an exercise that facilitates, we need that emotional closure because grief, and I've heard this several times before, grief is love with nowhere to go. Love with nowhere to go, nowhere to express it to because that person is no longer here. There's a man, and I live in South Carolina, and so when I'm going to through this area, it's a man who literally sits outside at the gravesite. I'm assuming it was his wife, and I think of how sad that person may be, right? That would be a good place for this person to write that letter to them, or maybe sit out there and tell them that, right? But they're out there like every day for hours. Grief is love with nowhere to go. Grief extends beyond death, evidently. This handbook broadens the definition of grief to include various forms of loss, such as loss of health, loss of career or financial stability, loss of faith, growing up in a dysfunctional or alcoholic home. Recognize these diverse sources of grief. Grief validates the experience of many who might not associate their feelings with traditional notions of loss. The importance of a supportive companionship. While the journey through grief is personal, the author highlights the value of sharing the process with trusted individuals. Having a supportive companion can provide accountability, empathy, and a sense of connection during the healing journey, okay? The Grief Recovery Handbook serves as a valuable resource for anyone navigating the complexities of loss. Its actionable steps and compassionate insight offer a pathway toward healing and renewed hope. I'm telling you, this is the book that you didn't know you need, or you didn't know you will need. Because in life, we're going to lose people. We're going to lose people, and people are going to lose us one day as well. So if we have the tools, if we have the information, we'll be able to process grief differently, healthy, right? A lot of people don't know how to do this. This is something that nobody talks about. Nobody talks about after, like, how do you process grief? How do you deal with the death of a loved one, the transition of a loved one? How do you deal with that? We're not taught that. People tell us these things like, don't feel bad, replace the loss, grieve alone, just give it time, be strong for others, be busy, just keep your mind busy, just stay busy. Those are unhealthy coping mechanisms, and it makes you suppress the emotions rather than processing them, right? If you see something or you hear something, or maybe the date that they died, the anniversary comes up, every time you're in this low place, we gotta process it. Whenever we process it in a healthy way, whenever that time rolls around, we get to do something different, right? I'm gonna go to a favorite. I'm gonna go to the place that we used to go to together. I'm gonna do something that we used to do together, right? You can do that. The person is no longer there with you physically, right? You can still do those things. Something that brings you joy instead of sadness. Oh, this time of year, I'm always sad. I'm always depressed. Like you're making that up, that pledge. And then you find yourself, I'm sad. I'm tired. I just stay in the bed, and you do this thing. So I invite you. I think the most important thing throughout everything I shared, I would say, address the unresolved emotions through the completion letter. That completion letter where you write the individual person that you lost, expressing unspoken thoughts and feelings and forgiveness. Maybe it's several letters. If it comes up, it needs to come out. I like to say that. When it comes up, it means you need to release it. A lot of times we are suppressing, then we get into depression, then we have anxiety, then we have health issues because the body keeps score, right? Then we start having PTSD. We start having so many different things that is a result of holding on to so much stuff till your body can't handle it. We're not meant to hold on to stuff. Why do you think we go to the bathroom? Do number 2. We're not meant to hold things. We're just not, we release fluids constantly because we're not meant to hold on to it. So, like I said, the most important thing is the completion letter. Write the letter. Tear it up, burn it up. I don't know. Do whatever you got to do. Just get it out of you. Process it in a healthy way. Make sure that you have a supportive companionship during this time, right? So Fridays are for book club. I just wanted to share this amazing book, and it's called the Grief Recovery Book. You can find it on Amazon or any place that you get your books from. So that is all I have. I hope this is received with love, and I hope you save this video because there's going to be a time where you experience this. And I want you to be able to experience this and process it in a healthy way so you can keep going and keep living because you have life to live. If you're still here, it's not over. It's not done. Okay? That is all. I will see you in the next video. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more growth, for healing forward conversations, right? Bye.